Welcome back. Many of you may have given up alcohol for the month, or at least you're trying. It's a practice known as dry January. Research shows that more Americans are choosing to participate in dry January, but that does not mean you have to stay at home and avoid going out and enjoying a drink with friends. Ashok Selvam from Eater Chicago with the Purple Suede joining us now with a look at some of the spots where you can satisfy your cocktail cravings. Good morning.
Morning.
Glad you're here. So a lot of people are trying to stay on track, but they still want to go out. So let's talk about Temperance Beer Company.
Yeah, it's wild. A couple of years ago, all you had to choose from was old duels and some nasty non-alcoholic beer. But now breweries all over the world, because January's a slow month. We're recovering from our holiday hangovers. It's a slow month for bars and restaurants. So breweries like Temperance in Evanston, they decided to, if we can't beat them, join them. So they decided to release their own non-alcoholic beer, and it is tasty. It is not what you would expect, and it's going to make a lot of people happy. You're going to see in the next year, a couple of months, a lot of breweries, big name stuff, they're going to jump on the bandwagon, and it's good to see a local brewer just kind of beat them to the punch.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like you said, if you can't beat them, join them. I've noticed at lots of different restaurants, I'm starting to see a mocktail section, and you're telling us about more places. Chai Cafe in Logan Square, what are they doing there?
Well, Chai, they started out as like a kind of a typical kind of tea house. You can't really find the authentic South Asian chai at a lot of places, even on Devon, which I love. There's not these kind of places you could get together, have a chai and catch up with friends. But in Logan Square, Chai, they get their tea from the family tea source in Nepal. And the tea is great. So you got the base tea, and then they just mix them up with like fresh juice, like with some cool garnishes. So you feel like, you're actually imbibing, but the marketing is chai. It's the original mocktail.
Oh yeah, it's so nice when they make it look fancy still, because that's what you like sometimes about the drinks or cocktail tasting. So in Bridgeport, you found a booze-free option at the Mars Community Brewing Company.
They're kind of the South Side equivalent of what I mentioned about Temperance in Evanston. Those Marzuskis, they're behind Maria's Community Bar in Kimsky. They, for the last couple of years, have been doing CBD-infused seltzers that come in cans. They're great for the middle of the week. You're watching something on TV. You don't want to feel groggy the next day. And I'm no health expert by any stretch of the imagination, but CBD, from a lot of folks, say it tends to mellow you out. It's a good change of pace. Maybe you are having a couple of pops with alcohol during during a Saturday, and you want to switch things up because you don't want to go there. There's CBD potions. They're from flavored with herbs. They got this really awesome apple cider one, which is spectacular. They do a lot of fun stuff. There's one with coffee as well called the Tokyo Drift. I'm a big proponent.
Oh, I love that. So we went from Evanston to Logan Square, we did Bridgeport. Now let's go to the West Loop, where there is a seasonal alcohol-free list. This is Elska, right?
Elska. Oh wow, this place is a tasting menu. They're Danish. It's unlike any other restaurant in Chicago, and they really have taken non-alcoholic selection seriously from day one. I remember going for my birthday there a couple years ago, and I may have had a couple too many drinks the night before. So when I saw that the NA's pairing, that just like a wine pairing, with these fancy restaurant options, you want to make sure that there's some synergy that complements the food. They take the same sort of seriousness with their non-alcoholic options. And it's great to see that being normalized. It's also a little bit more cost friendly too. So, it really increases the accessibility for everyone.
I know, I've noticed that on menus, the mocktail list is sometimes half of what the drinks with alcohol in them cost. So now let's go south to Virtue in Hyde Park. I haven't been in the restaurant. I want to try it out.
Oh, you haven't been to Virtue? Oh, Chef Eric Williams, he's the James Beard winner last year for best chef Great Lakes, the first black chef to win that honor. South Side folks want amenities. And a lot of times these restaurants, they are not full service. And the full service, when I talk about, they're not catering and to everything that sometimes we Northsiders take for granted. And at Virtue, for day one, they wanted to compete. They wanted everyone to have that opportunity. And Eric Williams and Chef Damar Baran, they serve kind of a mix on kind of their take on Southern cuisine, and their cocktails match that, or mocktails, excuse me. See, I'm doing it because I'm so I screwed up there. But their mocktails really pair well with their food, and Virtue is even though Obamas have gone there, you gotta get there.
I love that. Yeah, I live not too far, just a few minutes from Virtue. Like you mentioned, we need some more stuff on the South Side, so it's good to see that they have that mocktail option to give some more, offerings there in Hyde Park. Appreciate you, Ashok. Thank you for talking to us.
My pleasure.
All right, from Eater Chicago, joining us this morning, giving us all the goods. I love how he gave us so many options in different parts of the city. No matter where you live, you could check it out.
It might be that middle part of January, too, where you're like, do we switch to damp January now? Like,
Are we kind of teetering?
Yeah, it's tough. The weather kind of catches up to you after a while.
It does, and then there's less things to do in the winter, so you're like, gosh, maybe I should just
sit around and drink.
Yeah, but it's nice.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.